if you write this simple statement for 30 seconds every single day, your income will change in ways you could never imagine. All right, my friend, all you need to do is write this for 30 seconds every single day, and you will make more money than you've ever made in your entire life. And that might feel like it's clickbait, but not only did it work for me, but it's backed by neuroscience from Nobel Prize winner in medicine. And this is the easiest and simplest way to change your financial life forever. So I was making about $1,000 a month when I met this guy named Bob Proctor. And he gave me a simple task. He said to write a special sentence onto a small card and to keep that card with me all the time. And I thought, like, all right, why not? I'll give it a shot. I didn't believe it, but within a month, I made $10,000. And I was getting paid for public speaking gigs. I got booked on George and Nori's radio show to millions of people. I got my first $10,000 corporate speaking gig on the East Coast. And all of these things started happening for me quicker and faster than I ever thought. And on this little card, I wrote that I was making millions of dollars, inspiring millions of people as a world successful author and speaker. Now, you can do the exact same thing, right? It might be for yoga, being a chiropractor. It might be for real estate, whatever thing that you want, whether it's online work or it's your own business. At the time, none of those things were happening for me. So it didn't even seem like it was a smart idea to even write this down and get my hopes up, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then Bob Proctor comes along, and he's this wise guy, and he says, I could have everything that I wanted if I followed his advice. And I had nothing to lose, right? Nothing to lose at all. And I had an open mind that was attached to nothing. So I write on this piece of paper that I'm making millions of dollars and inspiring millions of people as a published author and speaker, and I'm doing all these awesome things, right? And it feels like, is this a good idea? And you might have a big vision for your life, but you don't even know if it can work. But the truth is, this technique is backed by neuroscience. Now, all we really need to know is our brain consists of nerve cells, and they communicate through electrical and chemical signals all day long. Now, these signals pass through synapses, and they form neural connections and neural networks in your brain. So whatever cells get fired on a daily basis, they become a neurological habit. And then these neural networks in your brain, which are really just cellular patterns, they ultimately control your personal reality. They control your thoughts, your feelings, and all of your behaviors, your bodily functions, your financial habits. Like, for example, every single day before I met Bob, I would stress about whether or not I was going to become successful, whether or not this would work, worrying about money. My girlfriend, now my wife, was in credit card debt because I wasn't making enough for basic stuff to help cover everything. So I'm worried. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have taken this risk to become an entrepreneur and build my own business, right? All of those thoughts spark little cells in your brain. Those same cells are forming neural networks, and they wired into my brain, and then they became my brain's new normal. So through neuroplasticity, I was unconsciously training my brain to stay broke and struggle, right? So to visualize how neural patterns are formed, just look at this video right here. This shows the creation of a synaptic connection in your brain between cells. So it's essentially about one neuron connecting with another, and then it sends off a domino effect that enables the reconstruction of your brain towards wealth or more poverty or any other goal that you want. Now, unfortunately, we generally are training our brains for the opposite of what we desire. So no matter how hard you work, how many hours you dedicate, how good your plan is, how good your resources are, you can't seem to break through. So why is that? Because you're biochemically and neurologically programmed to stay stuck where you are. And that summarizes big idea number one. You are where you are financially because the cells of your brain have been programmed to generate that much or that little amount of money and success. But Nobel Prize winner actually showed that you can change it. In 2000, Eric Kandel had won the Nobel Prize laureate for physiology and medicine. And he said, quote, "The neural networks of your brain are not fixed." Now, his discovery of neuroplasticity revealed that our brains could be rewired for entirely new realities. And this is exactly why Bob gave me this 30-second technique to do every single morning. It explains the science behind why this quick 30 seconds helped me go from making $1,000 a month to becoming a millionaire in my mid-20s. So if you're ready to take control of your financial world and your brain, you can do it too, because it's just backed by neuroscience. So by writing down and mentally focusing for 30 seconds like this, as I'm about to share, you're going to activate new cells, they create new neural connections in your brain, and you start teaching your brain to create wealth instead of financial struggles. And this process is backed by neuroplasticity, which allows your brain to rewire itself. So what I invite you to consider is that if your financial struggles keep happening, it's only due to your brain's deep-rooted financial programming that comes from past experiences and from childhood influences. And then now as an adult, these established neural networks, they dictate your habits, your thoughts, your behaviors, your feelings about money. They drive your monthly income results that you're getting. And that's why I always talk about reprogramming your mind for success, because once you understand the neuroscience, you realize we're all brainwashed, right? It's just a matter of whether you're brainwashed to live your dreams or to stay stuck in a life you don't love. Which way's your brain wired, right? That's all it is. And that's why I give away my free financial success hypnosis MP3. Over 1 million people from every single country in the entire world have actually downloaded this over the last 5 or 6 years. We even have people from Afghanistan, from remote places in Africa, that write us to say how it's changed their financial lives. And it's the fastest and easiest way to start to change your brain for money. So you can click right here to download that for free. You go to jakeshypnosis.com or click the link in the description or pin to the top comments. It's my free financial success hypnosis. Now, that's big idea number 2. Nobel Prize winner Eric Kandel proved you can rewire your brain. So let me just ask you a question, right? So according to Eric Kandel's Nobel Prize research, how many new synaptic connections can you make in your brain? Just one new idea that is programmed into your brain can double your synaptic connections within 21 days. So by using a success hypnosis, by doing this 30-second technique that I'm about to share with you, you're not only just activating new cells in your brain, you can double the synaptic connections, the cellular connections in your brain. Literally, you're growing a new brain. That's the good news. But the bad news is he also discovered that without regular repetition of this new thought pattern, what happens is the newly formed synaptic connections in your brain, they're retracted. So if you do this every day for just a minute or two, you build a new brain for attracting money. But if you do this for like 9 days and then you stop, you lose all those synaptic connections and your brain goes back to where it was, financially speaking. And then, we come back and we leave a comment on this video and we go, wow, this doesn't work. This is all clickbait, but it's science. So big idea number 3, you lose all the neural patterns for wealth if you don't do this for at least 1 minute a day. So how do you use it? And what I love is it's super easy. Number 1, you write your financial mantra. Choose a succinct statement that really encapsulates your financial goals. So write it on an index card and then make it a constant companion in your daily life, the same way you carry your phone with you. And then number 2, you visualize and repeat it regularly. So regularly mentally rehearse the vision of your mantra, right? And then when you combine that with reading it out loud, what happens is you strengthen the neural connections that are related to your financial goals. In Harvard University, I've talked about it and I won't go into it in great detail, but Harvard Medical School did a neuroscience study where they took groups of people, one that actually played a piano sequence and one that imagined playing it. Well, the group that imagined playing it was activating the same areas of their brain as the group that actually played it. So when you mentally rehearse this and you are repeating that mantra, you're activating the cells in your brain and the motor activity as if it's actually occurring, especially when you couple it with a success hypnosis. So you're engaging the audio functions of your brain as well. And that's why I say you could get it for free if you just click right here. It's jakeshypnosis.com. Or just go to the link. It's in the description or pinned to the comments right there down below. Now, once you picked that, wrote it on an index card, and you're practicing mentally rehearsing it, don't make it into a big thing where it's like you try to spend 3 hours in one day. What you want is repetition. It's to commit. So whether it's for 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 5 minutes, daily repetition, and pick a time, whether it's in the morning or at night just before bed, works very well before you go to sleep because your brainwave states start to slow down so you get direct access to your subconscious. Now, the reason the repetition is so important is because, as Nobel Prize winner Eric Kandel pointed out, that once you start to build these synaptic connections, which happen right away the first time you do it, but what happens is if you don't keep doing it, those synaptic connections fall apart. And then your brain that's been programmed for your current financial results kicks back on, and then you stay where you've always been financially. Now, I know that this is kind of counterintuitive to everything that you heard. Like, I understand it makes it sound very simple. But once you understand the science behind it, and you understand that the way your brain is wired fundamentally controls your entire reality, your personality, your habits, your behaviors, your feelings, that controls your bank account. And once you understand that the science has proven you can rewire it, all you need to do is change your brain for wealth, and then your bank account and your outside world will catch up to that change. So if you enjoyed this video, give this technique a try, come back, share your success story, get my free success hypnosis. It's pinned to the comments right there down below. It's in the description. It's jakeshypnosis.com, or you can click right here to get that. And if you enjoy this video, click right here to watch another.